Hey guys, so this is video 2 on my series around some of the main areas that we need to discuss on nutrition. So if you watched my first video, you'll have learned a lot about dairy, and hopefully that's given you some food for thought there, things that you might want to consider. But today I'm going to be talking to you about gluten. Now, working with clients over the last 6 years, gluten is one of those areas that more and more people are becoming educated around, which is great news. But there is still a little question as to whether is it a diet, is it a trend, or is it something that we really need to consider day-to-day removal. So when we think about gluten, the most common grains that we're thinking about are actually wheat, barley, and rye. Now, wheat, barley, and rye are grains that are differing in terms of its usage. The main one that most people are consuming on a daily basis is actually wheat. Now, wheat that we eat today is no longer the wheat, unfortunately, that we were eating some time ago, where we call einkorn wheat. And the wheat today has a high amount of gluten inside. So let's talk about what is gluten. So gluten is actually Latin for glue. And gluten is a protein found inside some grains. So there are many grains that are gluten-free, like oats and rice, but most of those grains do get cross-contaminated with gluten. But if you think of something that is glue, then what does that do? It makes things stretchy, and that's great for things like cakes and pastries. But you can also see why people have beer bellies. Or you can imagine what it would be like for the digestive system trying to break down something that is sticky and gluey. So the case against gluten is simply this, that the body is having a very difficult time breaking down the gluten inside some grains. And what most people experience is different to everyone, but the most common symptoms are digestive issues like bloating and gas and diarrhea, but also brain fog and soreness in the joints is another common ailment that we find with people that are consuming high amounts of gluten. Now, like any sensitivity or any allergy that you have, if you consume something that the body does not enjoy or the body is sensitive to, then it's going to be very difficult for the body to work to its optimal state. And if the body's not working in its optimal state, then it's going to mean that it's going to be difficult to lose weight. So if the body is able to digest foods properly and you remove the foods that are causing any issues to digestive issues, it's going to be allowing the body to digest and pass things through, and therefore your metabolism will be higher and you'll find it much easier from a weight loss point of view. Not to mention some of the other benefits that you have when you remove gluten. So what I do with most of my clients is I don't focus too much on the tests, although there are many tests around that can test for gluten, but I believe the biggest test that you can have is on your body. So what we do is we remove the gluten out of your diet for a set period of time. The minimum time that I like to work with is 2 weeks. And by removing gluten or gluten-based products out of the diet for 2 weeks, you really get to see what your body is like without it. Then by introducing it after a period of time, your body's got to have a chance to cleanse it. And then when you take it, you're more sensitive to any reaction that you have. Because the thing is, when you consume foods every single day that you're intolerant to, sometimes you just get used to those symptoms and you actually think that that's common. I know lots of people, myself included, before I went on elimination diets and really started tackling deep into the food, that I just thought bloating was, a normal sign of, being fed well. And then you start to realize how good you feel and how different it can feel to eat foods that you're not intolerant to, and the difference that feels like in your digestive system. So the case for gluten is really out. There is so much research that are available now, and I'm really asking you to dig deep into some of the books like Wheat Belly by William Davis, Dr. Axe and Mark Hyman also got some fantastic information around gluten and its sensitivities. And we're not talking about celiac here, which is an extreme reaction to gluten. We're just talking about this sensitive reaction that most of us are having to gluten. So the jury's out, and removing gluten from your diet is going to be a fantastic way of reaching optimal state and really feeling more energized, as well as seeing the weight loss that you might want to see in your body, and getting your body working in its optimal state. So keep on watching this series, because the next series we're going to dig deep into the next area that I think is really important for you to consider in terms of your optimal health. Now, all of these are a huge part of my up and coming nutrition program that, you know, keep in touch and stay close to my website, Elika.co, because you will see lots more information coming around this new nutrition program that I've created. And that's just really an accumulation of 6 years experience now of working with clients, using my own body as a guinea pig, and really get into the nooks and crannies of what you need to do and what rituals you need to create to have a long-term sustainable health. But you also know the best place to find me is over on my website. So if you go to Elika.co, there you can sign up for my newsletter, and that's where I also share regular tips and support you on your health goals. But please, if this is an area that you're interested in or would love to know more, or you're struggling with at the moment, please write a comment below. I'll make sure that I comment and reply to any questions that you have. Or maybe you just want to share this with somebody that might be struggling or considering making some dietary changes, and gluten might be one of the aspects that they might be needing to consider. Okay, take care, guys.